Hey y'all. Well, tonight I guess I'll talk a little bit about politics. You see, most of y'all don't understand the concept of one party or the other having control of Congress and the presidency. See, if the Democrats had control of Congress and the presidency, the Democrats can push their party's agenda through Congress and create laws. Now, with that being said, here recently we now have a new Speaker of the House because the Republicans took control of the House. You have the House and you have the Senate. The House is where everything kind of starts for a new law. And that goes into where it then goes to the Senate, and sometimes it goes back to the House. But then it goes to the Senate, and then if it passes in the Senate, it goes to the president, and the president signs it into law. That's one of the jobs of being president of the United States. You see, so it's important that you realize that what's going on here in Congress. Now, it took the Republicans 15 times to finally get it right. And to elect the Speaker of the House. And it almost went to blows, physical blows. So, where's the division in the country? I'd say it's in the Republican Party, mostly. It's definitely not Abraham Lincoln's Republican Party, because you got Proud Boys Republicans, you got other various groups like the Proud Boys that are Republican. And, I find it difficult to fathom the thought of somebody in another race being a Republican. I said it. And, it is what it is. We've got a hell of a time in the next 2 years seeing anything happen in Congress. I'd be lucky if there isn't another government shutdown when they try to pass the budget for the government. Because the Republicans want their way, the Democrats want their way, and eventually you got to reach across the aisle and find some middle ground. That leads me to another hot topic, abortion. As far as abortion goes, I'm somewhere in the middle. Politically I consider myself independent. I'm not Democrat and I'm not Republican. I'm independent. And I'll stay that way. Because both Democrats and Republicans have done stuff to me that I feel is wrong. So on the topic of abortion, I find myself somewhere in the middle. I think that abortion should be legal, but I also think there should be concessions to the Republicans, and that being concessions to the Democrats, and in a way that it could be done better. Something like pre-abortion counseling, depending on the mother's age. Well, any age, really. They should have pre-abortion counseling. They should have parent or guardian signatures for abortions. They just can't go off and get an abortion without their family knowing. Stuff like that. I think there should be medical concessions for abortions and late-term abortions on the medical, where the mother's life's in jeopardy. So, to me, that makes common sense. But as we all know, these days, common sense ought to be a superpower. Because some people just don't have common sense. And I said that too. You know, going back to what has been done to me, I'm going to bring up a little subject from one of my lawsuits. And that's the fact that they blocked my media. Well, they haven't blocked me from this format yet, but I'm sure they'll try. And, you know, there is such a thing as a prior restraint clause in the First Amendment, which I feel the blocking of my media violates my First Amendment right to free speech. And it was at the direction of KY3 News of Springfield, Missouri, and a judge out of Stone County that had my media blocked. And I was never served anything in regards to that, to defend myself. So, there's that. I also feel that out of those lawsuits, they were attempting to defraud me out of any settlements in those lawsuits. And, you know, to me, the blocking of my media shows that they tried to defraud me out of a lot of stuff and take away my rights. That was the first right that was taken away from me. Now, a lot of rights have been taken away from me, which I'll get into later. And as far as KY3 News is concerned, I do not know anybody past or present that works for KY3 News to my knowledge. I do not know Paula Morehouse. So, there's that. And I can show that there was possibly fraud in regards to Paula Morehouse and any newscasts, as they call them, or what I like to refer to them as stories these days, news stories about people, because they're definitely not fair, and I was not treated fairly. So that's why I'm doing these videos now, to speak the truth, and to let everybody know my side of the story. So I do not think that they had good intentions when they blocked my media. I do not think that at all. As long as my media is blocked, I believe I can still sue. So, with that said, you know, they never settled with me directly. I was never paid anything out of any sort of settlement. And that's why I consider that fraud. Because there's that. And I think nowadays there's a lot of shady people in the media. And the media lies. You know, it was Todd Cook that I put away in prison. Had a hand in it anyway. It was not Jerry Starkweather. Starkweather happened long before I was born. They never did their homework. Then they never bothered to ask me about it. But I was there, you know, working that night. Back in 95, 96, somewhere around there. 95, I think. And, you know, I was working security. And believe what you believe. I know the truth. God knows the truth. And I can be good with that. So, with that said, that's all for tonight, folks. Have a good one, and I'll talk to you later.